you've been, where you're from. I'm just going to wait for Jerome to hop on. Hi, guys. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Yeah. Hello from West Palm Beach. Welcome. Thank you for joining.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well. Thank you. How are you? Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday here. Is it Wednesday there? I forget when it's across the
Yeah,
other
no, it's
side.
still it's Wednesday. It's just evening, but it's still the
Gotcha.
same day.
Yeah, I know. I've got people in Australia that it's always like a day and a half or something, and it's interesting.
Yeah, so I'm lucky like that because my day is in between, so it's still the same day in Australia. It's just later, but in
Mhm.
America it's earlier. Like I'm halfway, but you have it confusing with Australia. Yeah, like the dates must be confusing with that.
Yeah, whenever clients book, it's always like it's their Friday when it's my Thursday. I just think it's interesting how that even happens, but.
Okay, well, welcome. Thank you for joining. Do you just want to give a little introduction about yourself, who you are, what you do, so that people can have a bit of an idea?
Awesome. So my name's Jerome Martin, and I am a metaphysical practitioner. And what I specialize is in light body development, because as humans, we're multidimensional beings, and everyone has a light body. And so all this work that we're doing, with making contact with our star families, the galactics, angels, ascended masters, all has to do with your ability to activate your light body, and then to take that light body, station a portion of your consciousness inside of it, send it into other dimensional planes to come in contact with either light beings or different dimensional frequencies that light body and your plasma body can take those frequencies, and when they bring them back, they activate within us. And so this is what the principles of DNA activation or these different light code activations has to do with, bringing these higher dimensional frequencies into our reality, right? And so that's what I specialize in, and I've been doing this for, I'd say, 7 years now, and this all started through ET contact. I had Arcturians come in through friendly visitation, bring me up into light ships, and help me develop my light body, and how to connect with them, how to communicate telepathically, etc. And then so I've just been developing myself through their means and coming in contact with other beings as well, and other humans that have helped me in different ways. And now we spread that message, that love, into our clients. And so that's what we sort of are doing now. And so that's a little bit about me.
Mhm. Thank you, Jerome. Yeah, Jerome will literally take you up on a spaceship. Like he will literally like take you there, guys. Yeah, thank you for that. That was a very beautiful presentation. And yeah, me and Jerome, I think we've known each other for about 2 years now, at least. I think, yeah, and he does incredible work. So thank you for your service. Yeah, is there anything you want to share about what's happening now collectively? Anything you've picked up? Anything you'd like, people to know about?
Yeah, so right now it's what my guides and a lot of people are also saying this too. It's all about raising your frequency, right? And so it's about bringing in more of these crystalline frequencies that the Earth is, as a collective, is like there are gates that are opening in the Earth, that higher dimensional frequencies are coming in as the planet is evolving. And so opening your light body up and bringing those frequencies into yourself and expanding your light body and your light quotient is what's needed to be on this new Earth trajectory that the Earth is on. And so really it's all about staying in sync with the planetary frequencies, and this is what the galactics have been showing as well. They're helping us get in alignment with ourselves, with the Earth, so we can be a part of this, right? And so there are people that aren't, they're not taking this light body development or this ascension thing serious, and those people are going to find out in the future that they once it all comes out, everyone's going to know about it, but they could have been early to it. And this is where, those of us that are trying to tell everyone, like, hey, this is coming, you need to prepare yourself, and it's not like you're going to miss it, but it's just it's better to be early to the race.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's been interesting because, those of us who have been in this line of work for the past 5, 6, 7, or 8 years, like, I don't know about you, but I've been seeing like a very big shift and an exponential rise within, the collective consciousness and the people waking up and the people understanding and the people like really actually taking power and consciously starting to do the work. Meanwhile, before it was more like, I don't want to say like hoo ha ha, but now it's actually like it's crunch time, like the universe is like going to throw it in your face. If you haven't done the work, well, now you have to do it. And someone gave me this really beautiful example recently. She was saying to me, you know, once you open the box, it's like Pandora's box, you can't go back. Like, you have to work through it, you have to navigate, you have to, you know, clear your traumas, your experiences, whatever it is, because the universe will keep throwing them at you. You know, because now, like, you've seen them, you know, you can't unsee it, sort of thing, you can't go back.
That is such an important thing because there are people that chase this consciousness or this ascension process, and they don't realize they participate in these activations and this plant medicine, these different things that open up these doorways or dilate your consciousness, but then they don't want to sit through, like you said, the trauma, the healing, the emotions that come with it, right? So once you start activating your light body and you start bringing in light into your body, it illuminates all the shadows, and now we've got all this work to do to process all this emotion that we're unwilling to look at, and that can be difficult. And so, you know, this is where people that they're they weren't even seekers yet. They were just like, "Ooh, that sounds like a fun. I want to have that experience." They think it's just an experience, like you're going and watching a movie and it's a one time thing. But after, like you said, you open the box, now you have to put all the pieces back inside the box, and that comes with a lot of effort and energy and processing and really just sitting with yourself. A lot of it is being willing to sit with yourself and look at it instead of you know, project and all these other things. And you know, a lot of people aren't willing to look in the mirror because the mirror, you know, this part of yourself starts reflecting the light in your eyes, and it you know, it's not easy to look at, and so you know, but it's part of the process.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I think, you know, the more you kind of like look, the more there is to look, you know, sort of thing. Like, it never ends. I mean, I do find that to some extent it gets a little bit easier when you have, you know, the conscious awareness and the knowledge. You're like, oh, now I'm moving through a lesson. But, you know, having the knowledge makes it like you know how to move through it. But I guess maybe easier is not the right word, you know. And I think it's quite interesting with a lot of energy workers, because it's kind of like we get put through them so that we can help you guys move through them as well. I don't know about you, but I've been really feeling a lot everything that's been going on with the planets in the last like month and to 6 weeks or so. You know, all these like planets in Aries, and you know, all this shifting and this bringing to the light, and now we're moving in this like full moon in Scorpio. Like, I don't know about you, but I've been kind of like really feeling it, especially within the astral. I feel like the astral has been quite affected, especially in the last week or so. I mean, I don't think I've had such intensity in the astral like in the last month in years. Like, I don't know about you. Are you also like feeling that?
Yes, me and Jalen were just talking about how like our dreams have been so in like this past week had like the dreams have just been so intense and just very like wild in general as far as they usually go. So yeah, there has been a lot of activity in the astral, more normal than usual because I typically tend to have very lucid dreams and very intense dreams, but it's just been like a lot, like you
Yeah,
said,
this has been back to back for me. They've been back. Usually they give me a break, like a day or in between them. You know, this one has been back to back. Sometimes I have like three a night. I had one, I think it was like 3 nights, 2 or 3 nights ago, where I had to like literally like transmute into light these three little gray beings that were trying to kidnap me. And I'm like, you guys are so tiny. Like, how are you like, they were like running towards me, trying to get me and kidnap me. And I'm like, no. So what I actually ended up doing is like, and then they were going like in and out of these walls trying to like hide. And then I actually ended up grabbing all three of them by the arm. And they were so like tiny that I could hold all three of them with one, like all their three arms I could hold with one hand. And then as I held them, I shot light through my body and into them, and then they transmuted into light. I think they were a little bit confused, but it was quite interesting. I think they were trying to be scary or something, but I was like, no, guys, like, no, like, come, I'll help you. It's okay, sort of thing. So that was quite interesting. I never encountered, like, I've encountered great beings before, but not these ones, not this type. So I thought that was quite interesting that came through. Yeah.
Yeah, the astral has been really intense, and you know, there's been different lessons that come through in the dream state as well, right? So something that's really important about dreams, and a lot of people don't realize, is that you know they're meant to teach us karmic lessons as well. And when you engage in their like your dream state gives you opportunities to have lessons and have experiences that you wouldn't that you're not even able to
Yeah.
have in your current incarnation. And so that's how we can learn these different things. I often have interesting dreams where I'm like, I was meant to learn that, and that's something that I wouldn't have gotten here. And so that's something, you know, for people to pay attention to. The more that you focus on your dreams and you write them down and you journal, the more lucid you become, and you get that memory of them. And so that's it's just been a really important integration process. Something you said earlier that I want to touch back on was that a lot more people are starting to wake up, and this is where I'm experiencing too. A lot of members of my group or different clients, they're having experiences that I have had such similar experiences just years ago, and I'm just realizing that everything that we've been talking about for a long time, it's coming into the collective in a way where it's so much more common. When this is first starting to happen to a lot of us several years back, there have been some of us that have been, it's been happening since they were a little child, or you just didn't recognize it until you were a little bit older, like what was happening. For me, I'm realizing that, my conscious experiences that I've been having other ones, but I just didn't realize that's what they were, because as a
Yeah.
child or when you're younger, your mind doesn't really conceptualize it the same way. But, a lot of it it's happening and it's coming into the collective. And I feel like and for those of us that have been doing this and helping others through it, we've been raising the collective vibration for a while now, to where it's starting to reach that critical mass where others are starting to come online. And I'm just seeing that there's this uptick in people that are becoming more and more aware of the galactic, and more aware of these, they're ultra terrestrials or meta terrestrials, where they're light beings, right? These light beings that are out there that are assisting us, and more people are having these experiences where, an ET has been such a trigger word for so many people, but when people are coming in contact with light beings, they, even though they might be non-terrestrial, right, they don't seem to have that same type of like spooky, scary ET vibe that people tend to sort of have resistance to. And I'm just noticing, when the beings that first presented themselves to me, they presented themselves as light beings, because that was so there was no abrasiveness, or there's no fear attached to that. And I'm just noticing that a lot more people are having contact with these beings, and it's really, or maybe it's not that they're having more contact, it's the awareness of it, right? Because a lot of people,
Yeah.
in the astral, they're having these experiences, but they're not understanding what they are. And I'm just seeing this big upsurge in this.
And I think also, there's it's been like exponential, it's kind of like one person has it, and then their frequency, and then they bring awareness to it to someone else, and then that other person now has awareness of it. So by them having awareness of it, it's almost like they're opening the door to be open to that sort of thing,
Hmm.
because it's kind of like you only know what you know, but then when you start to have knowledge of more, then it's kind of like, oh, okay. And then maybe then they become open to have that experience too. And even all these like, events and conferences and things that are happening where all these high vibrational frequency people are meeting in the same like physical space, like it's definitely creating these portals of high vibrational frequency energy that people can access, that then they take with, you know what I mean? Like they open up, and they take with. And this is why it's so important, like we were saying, to integrate, to ground, to stay present, to go back to the somatic and the embodiment and the nervous system regulation, because this is what I've been seeing as well. Some people can get really, really dysregulated, like because it can be very, very, very overwhelming. So kind of like, yeah, I guess be careful what you wish for sometimes.
So, and what you said is I also feel like this is something that's happening when, like you said, going to conferences or showing up to these online events that we're having, right? So, if you've ever seen a video of it, if you like spin a top, right, and then a top's spinning, and then other tops come in, if one top is like spinning slowly, and then another, like a top that's spinning faster comes in, they start like colliding. The ones that are spinning faster will get the one that's slower to start spinning faster by banging into
Yeah.
it. It like revs it up. And so, with that principle, if you think about the light bodies, right, some of the light bodies are spinning at a higher vibration or a higher oscillation, really is what it is, because it's just spinning faster. And so, when that's happening, when others come in contact with the electromagnetic field of our Merkabas, of the light body, etc., when you're in a small room where you're receiving the light codes, that starts to spin theirs faster. And what's really happening is we're bringing them into harmonic resonance. And this is what entrainment is. When we're working with people and we're helping them bring their frequency into a higher level, it's through entrainment, right? And so this is where the energy is passed, and the more people that engage in this, the more people's frequency reaches this collective harmonic resonance. And this is how these vibrations are raising, and it's even holding space for the rest of the collective. And that's such a cool thing to be a part of that, right? To be
Yeah.
able to help that in the collective.
Yeah, that was so beautifully explained. Thank you for that. So Jerome will be speaking at the Galactic Conference as well. Do you want to maybe share? Do you know what you're going to talk about? Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, for those of you that have experienced me, there's lots of different things that I do. I bring people in light chips, or we do DNA activations, or different light body activations, etc. But I'm going to do a little mix. I'm not going to bring everybody up into a light chip, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a transmission where we connect all together, and we're going to work on the DNA strands, right? So there's different galactic heritage and different abilities that come from the galactics in each strand. So what I'm going to do is clear some negative distortions or mutations that might be causing negative interference, and then we're going to go through and activate some parts of those strands. I typically do it more. It's a longer process, but I'm going to sort of condense it. That way we can get something good out of it in the time that we have allowed. But that's what I want to do because I know these conferences are like initiation. So we're going to be doing, that part of the galactic initiation. I'm going to be using light language, different entrainment techniques, different things like that to bring people through this process.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to share? Any last words? Anything you would like, yeah, people to know about you?
Um, Most of what there is to know about me can be found on my social media. So there's nothing, I don't really like talking about myself that much, but I am excited to be at this conference, and I'm here to do my part and to be there and show up powerfully and deliver, for everyone that decides to be there, that's ready for this next step. You have some heavy hitters on the bench this time for this conference. So people that show up, this is going to be a big one this year. And so if you haven't seen who's on the roster, go ahead and take a look at that. But it's going to be a very, very powerful, important event for
Yeah.
us.
And also we always have a 10-minute Q&A. So guys,
Mhm.
if you are on and Jerome is talking about things and there's specific questions that you have, like you can interact and ask as well. We'll have Debbie Dashinger,
Oh
which
yeah,
will be moderating. So it's really nice. I try to, make it as interactive as possible. I think it's important, that people ask questions and that, we all feel kind of like part of it and everyone that comes on feels part of it as well. So I'm very excited for this one. It is quite a big one, as you said. We've got Jerry Sargent that I did the live interview with on Monday, Sasha Stone that I did yesterday. We have Jerome. We have then Ken Lloyd, which I'm talking to tomorrow. Megan Solar Glow that I'm speaking to on Friday. And then I will have a chat with Debbie on the Sunday. And then Monday, I'll probably do another live. So it's a whole week of lives, guys. It'll be a beautiful one. We've got a full moon that's coming up in 2 days as well. So yeah, stay grounded, stay present. And yeah, thank you so much, Jerome, for joining. I'm looking forward to your talk next Tuesday. So it's the 5 galacticconference.com. The links are in the bio. And yeah, I look forward to seeing all you guys there.
sounds good. I'll see you there. Thank you.
Amazing. Bye.
Bye.